Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh. Welcome to Global Governance News TV now today, and we'll discuss today a role of WHO and Delta plus terror. How this Delta, Beta, Gamma, how this the variation of the COVID-19 and the different format. So we'll discuss here with how the Delta plus the India, the new names proposed for the COVID variants, as we know, the Kent UK, the scientific name is B.1.1.7. WHO has named it Alpha. South Africa B.1.351 is named by WHO Beta. And Brazil variants P.1, the scientific name, but WHO given name the Gamma. And India variant, that is B.1.617 to .2, that is called Delta. How just the WHO just classified the different variant with the variation of country, and now variant related to the Delta, the existing variant of concern, which was first identified in India last year, and now it has been found 85 countries according to the latest report. In India also, the 12 states has been found not more than 100 cases, but matter of concern, as the doctors are saying about that. So many there are the symptoms and so many reports we have just finding. Uh, Many doctors in India say that the symptoms were how just know the but this is also good news. Our Covaxin is very effective to just deal and just counter these variants out of the all vaccines available in India and other parts of the world. Apart from the other vaccine, also effective. So whatever WHO has sent uh, instructions to all and to the all concerned country, how they'll take care by the patients and the concern, and how they go with the according to study and how we can fight accordingly. Uh, Most scientists say India dropped the ball in sequencing enough samples for the variant, which has fueled a massive second surge in the COVID infections, and how the Delta variant, according to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the Delta plus, much like the Delta strain of the coronavirus, has spread 85 countries, as I told you, highly infectious and fast spreading, and 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 12 countries have detected Delta plus cases, and the infection cases rise in the country. And government level, the new strain, it may be the third wave. Just to hope for this and pray to God not to be the third wave in India, any part of the world, as France and Italy already have seen the third waves, and that is a very tough concern. Is characterized by increased ineffectivity, transmissibility, and the resistance to vaccines and treatment, according to WHO, World Health Organization, and how there is involved the whether that can third coronavirus wave in the country. Delta plus, the mutation in the Delta variant, and it is a according to scientists and according to doctors, new Delta plus variant, technically named, as I told you, B.1.617.2.1 or AY.1, has been formed due to mutation called the K417N in the Delta, or B.1.6172 variant. According to experts, the mutation is in the spike protein of the SARS-CoV-2, which help the virus um, enter and infect human cell. How the variant was politicized by the Indian politician just to counter Narendra Modi government also, but all they exposed, because not Modi and not India has made the variant, but whatever variant found. So we'll discuss on the how the Delta plus terror and other variant, how they are just we are going should be countered, how we have countering, and how we go with the all the just UK, South Africa, Brazil, and India, and how WHO is dealing with the all the variants just to counter the COVID-19. So we have Mr. Alok Laharji from a senior journalist and social activist from the Spain. We have Dr. R.P. Bhatt, the scholars, academicians, and social activists from the Germany. Mr. Sukamal Das, he is a research scholar from the NHS, the All Captain I, and we uh, or other Dr. Dheeraj Kaul also just going to connect now, and other our Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary will be connect. Anita Chaudhary, senior journalist, also uh, coming to connect on. So now we start from the data from the NHS, Dr. Mr. Sukamal Das.
Hello, everyone. Very good evening or good afternoon to wherever you are in this world. First of all, whatever I'm providing or what I'm saying is not in my government capacity. So I have my reservations in terms of what I say. I'm not representing the statements I'll be providing. I'm not from the government of UK. Me being part of the civil services. So I will be giving my opinion or my statements purely from a scientific perspective, and me being involved with organization called National Institute of Health Research, who are mandated by the government of UK to provide clinical research activities, setting up and delivery of clinical research activities in the UK. For the last 1 year, I've been heavily involved in urgent public health research, specifically related to COVID-19. Now we have to understand that without going too much of details, everybody knows this the origin, the how this virus originated from from other part of the world, and how this is transmitted across the globe. And I think that we have eminent doctors here in this forum, and we all know. I'll start by saying that virus is a highly transmissible microorganism, and since childhood we have been coming across various viral come down with flu, which is the very common form of viral infection. Similarly, this is a kind of viral infection which generally impacts the lungs, the respiratory system of a human being. And what makes this more very transmissible is because respiratory virus, it can spread through air, and that's the most common form of transmission. Apart from that, the virus can the way the virus is currently mutating, it can lay in surfaces which are also dangerously transmissible to various populations around the world. Now, when we talk about mutation, we have to understand one particular concept here. Why do we have so many variants? Now, as we all know, the concept of mutation is it's quite diverse and intense. I'm not going to take too much of time, but just to give a brief overview and touch upon it, and I'm sure the eminent doctors here in this forum would also understand where I'm coming from, and the journalists here as well, is that any microorganism, every microorganism or every organism on Earth goes through mutation, including humans. So when we sleep at night, our DNA goes through mutation. This is known as repair mechanism, and there is a innate, basically, mechanism gifted to any kind of living organism on Earth. Similarly, this virus is no different. And what the variance that we see is because the virus is traveling to different populations around the world, as in how it travels to different populations around the world, different geographies around the world, different environmental situations around the world. The virus is mutating, and I'll not be surprised that this virus will also mutate to form various other variants, because the genetic code in the virus, the RNA, keeps changing, and that's why we have these different variants and the different kind of symptoms. Now, why this particular variant? Let's coming to the current variant we have, which is that from Delta we're moving on to Delta plus. Now, this is basically a change in spike protein. Now, we all know that the virus infects our lung cells, and it binds to the proteins inside on the cell surface, and that happens because of the spike proteins in the virus. That's the science part of it. Now, in terms of how this how government how UK is dealing with it, so basically we have seen a surge of localized transmission of this virus in the north of England. We have seen a surge in the transmission of this virus in pockets in the parts of London, and we have seen the surge in certain population of the country. Primarily, we have seen a spike in South Asian population in this country, and this also true and also indicates there could be various other parameters, or basically route of transmission. It could be that these people through which we are seeing a spike in the in infection have traveled to various parts of the world, and probably that is one of the routes. It's difficult to ascertain, and obviously many of the data is still being researched or being analyzed at this point of time as we speak. And that's how that's how it transmits. But what the in terms of how the government is dealing with it at this point of time is basically localized lockdowns, as you might have seen, improving the vaccination services. And I would like to highlight one big government strategy that we have all been involved in is basically roping in human resources and efficient human resources. Like in UK, a central command has been created through the through NHS England, NHS Improvement, who are the centralized NHS central government organization, and they have taken a central command to deal with this pandemic through the help of British Army. And British Army, teams who are equipped to deal with biological warfare. So that is the kind of contingency planning the government has been taking, and the vaccination drive has been going on a war footing. I mean, I have been vaccinated with. I'm not going to tell which vaccine I've been vaccinated by because of various reasons. But I've been vaccinated 4 months back. I got my two doses of vaccination.
Have you taken all doses, Sukamal?
Yes, I've got both the doses. Yes.
I think Covishield.
I'm not going to name which vaccine, to be honest, because of this for diplomatic
Great.
purposes and
Great.
for
No,
official
no, no
purposes
issue.
only.
No, no issue. So just a connected Dr. Dheeraj call from USA, and Dr. Dheeraj is traveling now, but so dedicated about his profession. And I also joined Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary. Also welcomes. He is doing MD in macrobiology, and that's nice one. So Dr. Dheeraj call. Do you hear me, Dr. Dheeraj? Am I audible? I think some tech problem. Yes, she's I think driving and just so I'll take Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary. How Jyoti, just how you analyze this is you are just MD and microbiology. So how just you analyze this delta plus terror and how the WHO is just doing and for the humanity and role of and the detailed role I'll take from the Alok ji and Dr. Bhatt. So, but you just took a technical part and the medical part. Just throw a light on that, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me here. So, we are talking about Delta Plus variant. It is just the sublineage of Delta variant, which we all know that it is a mutant. There is a mutation in K417N
Yeah.
in the spike protein, right? So this same mutation was earlier found in beta variant also, and also in the gamma variant. So we all know that the beta variant, there were increased number of hospitalization, and in gamma variant, there were highly transmissible. So we are expecting this variant to be like more virulent and more pathogenic. And this mutation, this particular mutation, is also associated with immune escape. You can say that the host immune system, it escapes that, and so the drug therapy, whichever we are using, is less responsive for it. But for all these things to be proved, we have uh, very less data about it. So for that, it is said that the WHO is not yet declared it as a variant of concern. It says that Delta is the variant of concern, not the Delta plus yet, because we don't have the sufficient data for it. And whatever the variant is, whatever the mutation occurs in future, the only thing which is effective is the vaccination and the public response strategies, which should be followed by the government and the people.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Dr. Dheeraj, just now you're audible now. So, Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary, just I want to just can you add something the immunity system, whatever just already propagated and just shared by the WHO and different health authorities. So, anything new, I think medicine or new precautions should be taken just to fight the Delta plus.
Sir, there is nothing new in that. Only the vaccine is there, for which we don't know the efficacy yet, because the whole genome sequencing of this virus is not, this particular variant is not done yet. So we don't know that how much our vaccines are effective against it or not. But we can do only one thing to to follow all the health hygiene practices what we know, and to have our vaccine shots as soon as
Okay.
possible.
Okay. Now, Dr. Dheeraj call from USA. Just I think you connected now.
Right.
Yeah. So just how do you see the new terror in the name of COVID, the one virus, as we already discussed?
Hello. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you, everybody, for. Sorry, I'm traveling today, and I missed your opportunity 2 days ago, and that's why my video is not gonna be effective because it's gonna lose coverage. So I have to put the video off. But this is a very important question. As you know, from 2020, I've been raising concerns on this and on different media channels. But I think I didn't hear who was talking before me. But just let me give you a new update. The genomic sequencing of Delta Plus offshoot is already there 4 days ago, fully decoded. The trials are running on it already on mice model. It's shown to be 70 to 80% more lethal. When I say lethal, I mean causing comorbidities in mice model as of now. That's why it is a variant of interest for the global community. And if that translates to human outcomes, that would be very deadly. So far, the human outcomes are not decoded fully, but the way it is showing, it is shown to be more prothrombic, thrombogenic, as you had seen in Delta wave, causing diffuse clot formation in entire body. Delta plus variant is also copying the same protocol, causing same kind of comorbidities and outcomes as Delta did. On top of that, it has a new mutation BK417, as you know, that makes which was found in beta as well, and now we are finding some other offshoots of Delta plus as well. I repeat myself, Delta plus already has offshoots which are further enhanced for infectivity, but other than causing more infectivity, the new offshoots of Delta plus, are they also causing more comorbidity? That data is not out yet, but Delta plus data is out already as of.
So Dr. Dheeraj call, how I think that this is a variant is going on. So how do you think when it will be the end of the all the drama, the Wuhan virus drama, how the all the humanity of the world has been affected? Dr. Dheeraj call, do you hear me? Some technical problem is there. So I'll take the Alok Laharji. How does he see the role of WHO and the different variant, including Delta plus?
Okay, I like to clarify in the beginning that I'm not a doctor. I'm a social scientist, maybe educated.
But you can focus the role of WHO.
No, no, exactly. So I want to clarify to the viewers that, I mean, I'm going to, apart from what Dr. Kaul just said, that the genome of Delta Plus has been deciphered 4 days ago. That's the only new thing which I've learned because I've been following this COVID ever since its insurgence. So I was checking out the WHO site today, and I also checked the various variants, which you've also mentioned how the nomenclature was done and everything. We started off by calling the base, SARS-2, as it was called, as the Wuhan virus or the China virus, and then China took steps to curb it. They didn't want the name to be linked to this virus at all, and they've achieved it fairly well. I'm saying this because I did a research of about 2 hours on the WHO website. Nowhere will you see, COVID related to China at all. They talk about the variants, and the variants are very nicely explained. They tell you like how the nomenclature was done and why it should be done. And in the table they've made on the right hand side, they also have, where the the variant was first found or the mutant was first found. So they start off with alpha, So in the beginning, when you talk to a general person, everybody thinks that alpha was found in Wuhan in China. But no, it was not. It was found in the UK. And the second, the beta version is found in South Africa, and then the gamma in Brazil, and of course the delta we know was found in India. So these, and it's kind of strange that when they divide the regions, they still divide the regions. They don't go by continents. They do. They call it America, North America, Europe. They will say, but they will not talk about Asia. They'll talk about Southeast Asia. And in Asia, they've done a different kind of nomenclature, which I can't get access to my computer right now because I'm on 4G. So when the part where China should be there, we talk about it. There is no mention of COVID at all. So you start thinking like how it has been happening when Taiwan first, blew the whistle. WHO was not even ready to take, they were saying that why do you want to talk about a region of a country? Why don't you? They are not even ready to acknowledge that there is, a different country or a disputed landmark, a land piece, which is called Taiwan. So now your question, you start raising that question. Why is WHO, trying to kind of, and another strange thing is that when we talked about, like Dr. Jyoti talked about efficiency, and she said not enough data is available. I was going through the documentation, and there was a doctor in the US saying that in case of Pfizer, it is about 80% effective on Delta. They did not talk about Delta Plus, probably because it's very new. And they said that Moderna was around 40 to 45% effective on Delta. Now, my question to all this is that these are not the only two vaccines which are there. And of the approved vaccines, the Sinovac has been approved by WHO, and there is no information on its vacancy. In case you do a Google search, WHO Delta Plus, you will not find anything. And I'm talking about the two most used browsers. One is Google, and the second one is YouTube. These are the most used. I mean, statistically speaking, these are the two most used search engines. And there is no information available. After we talk about this, when you listen to almost all the doctors and you read all the articles which you can, they will only talk about Pfizer and Moderna. They will not talk about any other vaccine at all. And strangely, if you see the four variants we are talking about, almost all of them are from Commonwealth. If you leave aside the Brazil variant, then they are all from the Commonwealth. It seems that we have a virus, which is, all the doctors and the scientists here know that it is not a new virus. If you pick up the bottle of Dettol, at the backside, it very clearly says that it is effective with the coronavirus. So it's not a new virus. We have known it since decades. But the curious thing about this is that it only mutates in the Commonwealth countries. It does not mutate anywhere else. In the whole world, it mutates only, and the movement is going on only in the Commonwealth countries, and it is not happening anywhere else. Now, when you do these kind of studies and generalizations, you get to know that nobody is bothered about health, nobody is bothered about public health, nobody is bothered about people who are dying or who are not getting other kinds of related diseases. So it's very clear that there is some politics of pandemic going on in the world. WHO is involved. It is almost clear. They wanted to wash away their hand. There was only one president who said that they were involved in this, and he stopped the funding. And even now I am seeing, like, if you just think of it, the variants and everything, all the fingers go pointing towards India. Why? That's the question asked. Why? Somehow, in one way or the other, all the eyes go on India. The reason is very simple. It's the biggest market for any kind of vaccine. That's the only reason. And the second reason is that politically speaking, all the countries in Europe and in the West, they are looking at an alternative to the supply chain. And that possibly the most, the country which could be the most probable alternative to the current supply chain can be India. So it is not only, the big pharma, they are trying. There is also, vested interest, economic vested interest of the companies, the countries who are going to be the losers in this whole thing. They are also trying to blame it. And of course, then we have, to everybody's surprise, that India took out its own vaccine, which is very effective. In fact, there is information that the Institute of Health of the United States, it has very clearly said that the vaccine which was made in India, it has not been given the approval by FDA though, and they want the permanent approval to be taken, and they're working on it. But that they have said it is very, very effective. And then you have countries like Europe, lots of European countries, they are not ready to give certification to travel to a vaccine which is invented in Oxford. It is made in India, but the same vaccine, if it is made in, let's say, UK, then it has the approval, but it does not have. Thank God that 2 or 3 days ago, like they said, yes, they'll be allowing, but they're still not working in. And strangely, like Sino vaccine, there is no talk about it. It has been approved by more than 60 countries. It's been vaccinated. And there is absolute silence on it. You will not find anything. So when you see certain things, you observe certain things as a social scientist, you realize that there is some hanky-panky going on. What is it?
Yeah.
Time will tell.
So actually, that as you mentioned, Alok Laharji, you just gone through the site of WHO, and you will find there is no mention about the China role and China virus. As we are just talking today, and how just only 4 countries virus has been named: UK, South Africa, Brazil, and India, but they have no mention of the China. I think, according to my view, and the majority of the country and scientists just already accepted that and analyzed that the China is main culprit, and the different media, according to different media reports. So I'll take that, Dr. R.P. Bhatt, just living in Germany, and how do you analyze the whole situation and role of WHO just to fight combating the coronavirus and COVID-19, whatever, with reference to Delta, Beta, Gamma, and all. I think Dr. Dheeraj call connected.
Yes, I'm connected. Can you hear me?
Now I hear you. I'll take the Dr. Bhatt, then after that I'll take from you. Please.
Okay.
So, thanks, Rakesh.
Yeah.
Yes, if I'm allowed to say.
Please,
yes,
okay. Dr. Bhatt.
Yeah, that's an important question I think you raised. Of course, from the beginning, if you look at the history of this whole thing, right from the beginning, I think I even do have some students, I won't name which, who knew very well about this. And I was also informed right in the beginning of January. I think we knew about it, and people were very afraid. And then, I mean, if you look at it, they did not reveal what was happening already in September, October, November, in particular parts of the world. WHO, in my opinion, completely failed in this regard. Maybe they knew it, but then if you read about this guy, Tedros, his history itself tells a lot. He has been probably the member of some communist party in his country, and his background is, of course, there are a lot of allegations on him as well. And then he's, cozy friendship with this Chinese guy, Haolin Chao. There is a lot going on, and I think he is not a kind of person who could lead WHO in that sense. He is completely powerless, probably, and therefore he could not take decisions, and he could not even name this virus as it should have been. What is happening now? Of course, Indians have their right to raise the questions. Anyone who are being labeled. And if you look at this Delta, even the Delta variant or Delta plus variant, whatever it is, then there is data from England. The speaker was talking about it. I just checked it, how deadly it might be or it is. Doctors or the experts, they say it's surely 60% more infectious, contagious. But if you look at the death rate, it is just 0.1%. In England, I think somebody is here from England. The data says 92,056 people were infected, and out of that, 117 died. And from 117, 50 people were fully vaccinated. They also died. So, of course, the data probably is not there. What were the exact reason of the death of these people? Enough study has not been done. WHO has also not initiated, proper investigation of the virus one side, but other side how it is spreading and how deadly these viruses are. So, as a normal person, I think, of course, people are afraid to hear that it is so highly contagious. But then, if you look at in the beginning, somebody was also talking about it, that even the gamma virus or even the coronavirus, COVID-19 in the beginning itself. Look at the data from Italy, from Spain, where largely come from. How many people died there? Look at other parts of the world. They don't talk about this. And what is happening in Africa, nobody talks about that. And the politics of even naming or counting the vaccines, also this is unacceptable in my opinion, that you just leave out Indian vaccine. You even do not mention it. Though many Indian scientists are involved in developing these vaccines even in England or elsewhere. So I think question must be raised. Yeah.
Okay. So nice, Dr. Bhatt. Just how just raise the issues related to WHO. I just welcome to Anita Chaudhary ji, senior journalist from India and New Delhi. And but before after going her, I'll take Dr. Dheeraj's call. You connected?
Yes. Can you?
You connected or not?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please now. Just we are just love to see your face, but I don't know how you just you're not visually just seen. That also this is not good for us. So
you want me to disconnect? Because
no.
I can't connect on the video. I'm traveling, so
no problem. Just
I told
go
you
on.
before as well that video is not possible.
Problem. Okay, no problem. Just carry on. Info is important. I was joking with you. No problem. I think you're traveling. So nice of you. Please.
Yeah, I try to adjust it, although it's
no problem. No issue.
Not possible.
No issue. Take it easy, please. Just can you just something reach us with the role of WHO to fight the America to India and every part of the world. The person, concerned doctors and experts already just facing the many phases of WHO as the ongoing President Donald Trump also made so many statements, so remarks against WHO. So how do you analyze all the statements and till regarding today how the behaving WHO with this disease and the concerned countries?
See, with WHO, I've been raising these concerns since last year, August onwards,
Okay, okay,
national and international media. But
yeah,
you need to understand, WHO has a very crucial role when it comes to public health globally. It's a very, very important organization. It has done wonders, including in SARS controlling and MERS controlling. I agree with two of your panelists. Actually, I was cutting on and off, and I could hear them talking about the role of Dr. Tedros, which I totally agree with them. It's under suspicion. Not only them, but scientists around the world and physicians around the world have raised these fingers starting March 2020 onwards. First of all, if you recall, the data provided to us shows that the first cases of Wuhan virus, which I don't have a problem calling it Wuhan virus, came actually not even in November. Now we are seeing traits of it in September. November, when it was officially witnessed, and then in December, there were people who were admitted. There was a very crucial golden period, Rakesh ji. You have to understand. It's like a
yeah.
wildfire. The timing is the key, and I will take just 5 minutes, and then I will get logged off because the signal will cut down. Just give me five
Okay,
minutes to finish my talk. So,
okay.
in November, this data was out. People were
So I
listed.
request you finish in 3 minutes. Actually, also running out of time. Also, please.
Okay, I'll finish in 1 minute. Actually, is that
No
okay?
problem.
So,
No problem. No.
yeah, just
The
it's
two
okay. I
other
can stop.
panelists also just share some
Yeah,
views.
I
That's
just
why
connected.
I request you.
I
I
thought you
request you.
wanted to hear my thought. I just connected. So it's
Please,
okay.
please, 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 please carry on.
So,
Please carry on.
so in 1 minute, I'll just recap
No problem. No
everything
problem. No problem.
which
No
they
problem.
said. So,
Please, 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 please,
maybe next show
please.
I can talk in more detail about this.
Yeah, please.
But for
Yeah,
now, in 1 minute, there are concerns about the leadership of WHO. Absolutely agree. And there are concerns about the way, because WHO has a detective team which is found of microbiologist, pathologist, infectious disease specialist in every country. Their role is to report any outbreaks, like it was done in MERS and SARS. And as soon as they hear it, they can indicate it's an epidemic. And the moment you see an R naught going above, they can call it a pandemic when it becomes a variant which has mutated very fast, has changed very fast, and then they can look into doing scientific data collection and everything else. But the key is to protect masses. So somewhere there is a lap in that. And again, there are timelines. It will take more than 2 to 3 minutes to talk about them. So in the benefit of time, this is where I will stop. But there are offshoots of delta coming. We should keep very close eye on it. Indian government has very nicely increased the pace of vaccination to around 4.6 million, I think, yesterday. But there was a time it was delivering around 8.6 million. I think the golden number should be 10 to 15 million jabs in a
yeah.
day.
You're right. You're right.
And
You.
I think all of us should support the government's movement in that. And I request all of your viewers to please donate money or whatever you can do to support the government's effort. This fight cannot be won by government alone. Public has to donate, come with open heart. People have to donate their time in social service, their money, or whatever they can do, so that they can strengthen the efforts of the government and stay away from the negative media that COVID is over, third wave is not gonna come. Third wave is a realistic challenge, and we all have to fight it together. Thank you so much, Rakesh ji.
So
Thank you so
Dheeraj ji,
much.
so nice of you. But we'll
Thank you.
organize the next program with you on the Delta Plus special dedicated to Dr. Dheeraj call, as we discussed earlier.
Thank you.
So nice. Well, next program I'll just do accordingly. Whatever just you think and whatever research you have and deeply research you have the studied now. So nice of you. Just you spared your time, valuable time, while you are traveling. So I'll take Anita Chaudhary ji. What is scenario? Just you how you see the complete scenario of the WHO and the Delta virus, Anita ji.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. But one thing which I want to mention here strongly that it's a Delta virus. As per the WHO data only, 85 countries are affected, but we talk only about India. When it comes to Delta, we talk only about India. And we all know the Britain was the first carrier of this Delta, but we have ignored the cases of Britain. India has overcome this delta also. And delta plus we are keeping our eyes very closely, and the all the preparation has done, and I think the whole world is waiting for the third wave in India, but we will not get it. The kind of preparation we have, as I know. But I want to tell you that uh, in 85 countries, the top 10 countries who has got highly percentage increased in Delta virus. First is USA. USA has 20% increase in Delta virus. Second is United Kingdom. In last 2 weeks, there is a 79% increase in Delta virus. And France, it has 70% increase in Delta virus in last 2 weeks as per the WHO. Russia has a 90% increase in Delta virus in last 2 weeks. So as the Portugal, Israel, Germany, and Italy, and Ireland, and so on, Denmark. So the thing is that every media is worldwide media. They enjoy when they talk about India, when they talk about dirts thing about India. And now we should not bother about the news, either it's Indian news or it's a abroad news or a worldwide news, because now they are not putting news, they are not producing news. They are the entertainment kind, they are producing the propaganda agenda and
Propaganda.
entertainment
You are
only.
right. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
should keep your eyes open. We should go through the authentic data. And yes, if we will talk about the WHO, we all know that WHO is an organization constituted for keep eyes on any kind of disease worldwide, and give them suggestion, and uh, give them clear picture about that any virus, any disease which become a pandemic or mahamari or whatever it is. But in this case, in a Chinese virus, Wuhan virus, in this case, WHO has not given either it's alpha or delta. WHO has not given any clear picture. They don't bother about the life of a human being. They are just playing politics. I don't know why they are playing this politics. Why are having
Politics with China.
China or
As
whoever
Alok
is
mentioned,
responsible for this?
there is no any
Whoever,
format, no
even
any
Dr.
variant
Fauci,
found. Okay, Dr.
Dr. Fauci
Fauci,
has,
but
Dr.
as you
Fauci
mentioned,
has
Anita ji, as
had,
Alok ji also mentioned, there is no
Dr. Fauci
any
has
quote and the find about China.
But Dr. Fauci has also played a very dicey role in this case. Dr. Fauci has also played a very dicey role in this case. So he should be also under scan, and we should keep our eyes very closely on that time. What was the reason that Dr. Fauci was in so close to China, and that they have such kind of
Okay,
chat and emails they were exchanging on that time. So
okay,
these are the matter of investigation, because if we will see worldwide, millions of people they have lost their life. but
yeah,
but either it's China, or it's America, or it's any country, or WHO or UN, they're not bothering about that lives. They're just bothering about the ongoing politics. Who will show
ongoing
the
politics as
supremacy
well as business
in
also, as
this
well as
world?
how the China is trying
China
to
is
spread the
trying to
business,
destroy,
business.
and
Yeah,
America is trying to put its supremacy on that. In
yeah,
between, the life is going on and on and on. So we should all come together. It's a global issue, global problem,
yeah.
and the whole world should come together and fight against it. And whoever is, either it's a any American citizen or Indian citizen or China or any country, we should get a unite and take a strong step against that person or a country, because millions of life has they have lost their life, families has destroyed, the
Yeah,
economy has destroyed, the business,
yeah,
the jobs, we have
yeah.
lost
You're right.
everything.
You're
And
yeah,
now we have lost the mental state of each and every person.
yeah,
When we will overcome this corona, we will go through the depression, we will go through the frustration, we will
yeah.
go through other
There's so many
diseases.
problems. There's so
So
many
we should
problems and
think
diseases
about it,
already arising. Yeah,
how much damage it has done. and the kind of role WHO has played, it should be under scan. It should be matter of investigation as per me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita ji. Sukamal Das is here.
Hello there. Hi.
Sukamal, yes, after you, I'll take the inputs and scientific inputs and the role of a WHO, Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary also. Sukamal, how just you agree? I don't know officially and unofficially, you'll agree or not, but how do you analyze the role of WHO as UK and India are united in so many terms and the so many ways just to fight with China? This is a government stand also, as well as the government of India stand also for China, as we know it, as we know it. So, how do you analyze the situation, the role of WHO as there is as we have just told you, there is a four new names proposed by WHO only for the country UK, South Africa, Brazil, and India. But there you will find no any name of China.
Sure.
Where does China just this variant is come from? And I'll put some inputs from the doctors to how the prevention is going on and how the for the third wave. So I'll just I am going to quote Dr. Rahul Pandit, member Maharashtra COVID Task Force, and he's a senior doctor. My concern is ineffectively different. Is the virulence and how the fast the virus spread different, and how efficient are the present vaccine against the virus? We are yet to know about this with evidence. Symptoms wise, we know that it's causing more conjunctivitis, sore throat, prolonged taste loss, and smell loss. The same actually symptoms. The concern is also that if the receptor binding site of the virus gets stronger, and which is where the mutation is happening, then it may actually increase the virus binding to the lungs, and that may cause a severe form of infection. But whether it is true or not, yet to be known. And this is expert doctors and other also one of the doctor who our task force, Dr.
Sorry, can I take
Guleria
one
and
question at a time?
Agarwal.
So I
So,
think there are
so
too many questions, and in the
no,
interest
no,
of
no,
time,
no,
I'll
not
just
too many questions. I only just want to ask you. I only quote the who was the part of the task force from the India, one of the doctors, and and Dr. Sarin also. I'll take the I think two lines. A quote is a member of National Task Force of COVID-19, and also the symptomatology of the new virus needs to be studied. But WHO is saying that this is all the variants and all that. So that I want to know from you. There is so many, I think, confusions, so many dissimilarities of the thoughts of the and input from the doctors. How you analyze as a research a scholar of the NHS, and how you define is it okay or not?
yeah,
This is
I'll
my
just
question.
take 2 minutes of your time. So
Please,
first of
please,
all, yeah,
no, you take
yeah.
no problem. Please,
So I'll
please,
just answer
please.
this question because there's certain messages I need. If the government of India is listening, I like to put forward
Yeah,
messages and the best
yeah,
practices so that UK
yeah.
is following. First of all, no country. This is a new pandemic for SARS-CoV, and no country people had to go through trial and error. UK went through a lot of death cases, as you already know in the media, and then the government bounced back with its quick policies on the ground. Now, two things here. Number one, we all know that the name of China doesn't come up. The reason being their political, socio-economic, and geopolitical issues, which is why we can't target China, to be honest. I mean, the worldwide community is already working towards various governmental pressures. So China can be taken to task. But unfortunately, we all know how powerful that country is, and we all dependent on that country. And that is why we can't singularly take on a country like China because of the way the economic scenario or economic connections we have as a world wide web. Number one. Number two, what does UK think in terms of see? There are a lot of different things we can discuss, but we should be more solution minded now. What can we do as a common person? So I'm going to focus on those things. Number one, we have to understand first of all that we cannot compare India with other countries. India has its own political, its complex community, and other kind of active governance issues,
Yeah.
which it has to go through. It's a very complex system. On the contrary, in UK, it's a singular system, so it's very easy to implement policies. For example, I've seen policies being made within 24 hours and implemented. That cannot be possible in India. We have to understand. We have a central government, we have the state
Oh no,
government.
that is possible in India. Sorry for I'm interrupting you. This is the new leadership under the Dr. Mr. Narendra Modi ji. How the policy made and implemented, I have seen within 24 hours. Policy made and implemented. Please.
Yes, that's a good. That's I understand, but I'm
Yeah,
saying that the Prime Minister of India also goes to challenges he has to face. A lot of hoops
that's right.
because
That's
there
the
are a
point.
lot of
Yeah,
opposition for good things. There's
yeah,
always a lot of opposition. I'm telling the fact, and this is where research has to be revamped in India as well.
yeah.
I mean, you mentioned
That's the
UK and
point.
India.
That's the
This
point.
UK and
So
India research.
I'll take inputs from the Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary, the research to be revamped and how researches are going on the just as your MD of microbiology. So how do you analyze the research situation in India, Dr. Jyoti?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very
Sir,
much.
as we all know, the new strains we have seen in past the second wave, that these new strains, there were a few cases where this escapes the routine test. So we found that the RT-PCR is negative, but the patient is symptomatic and
Yeah,
shows infection
yeah.
on the CT scan, and so we are developing more effective this identification system for the newer strains, which is required. And moreover, the vaccines, the efficacy, it should be like, it is very it should be improved. We don't know for the coming strains, as we know that the virus has its potential to change, to for the mutation. It is going to mutate further. So our vaccines and our treatment strategies should be like spontaneously changing. It should also change. We have to add those things also. And for but we can say that the for the third wave which we are expecting it, so for that the preparedness for the third wave is necessary. Then the awareness and the strategies to be made, there are strategies to be made. And the most important thing is that their strategies are made at the government level, but their implementation is delayed, which is
Yeah.
responsible for like the transmission and the increase rate of infection. So this should be taken in mind.
Okay, so nicely just living in India, and your concern is also valid. The research is going on, but implementation is a matter of concern. I'll take answer from the Anita ji, but this is the last round. How just Alok ji, how do you analyze the terror of the COVID with the role of WHO and role of the concerned government? My question to the all. 20 to 30 seconds. Alok
It's
ji,
me.
you hear me?
It's me.
First Alok ji and last Anita ji, editorial comment.
I mean, my views are very clear about this. Since the vaccination started with the senior citizens, and we are going down the age group, so it's very logical that right now the the group which is most vulnerable to any infection by corona is going to be the youth, which is under 18, and the children. Now that is logical. There is no rocket science required to know this. But what they cannot do is use this logic and then add it on to various variants. I don't know any virus. My father was a microbiologist. I'm not a microbiologist like Dr. Jyoti, but I've lived through this in my house. I don't know any virus which is mutated more than 5 or 6 times in a period of 1 year. Mutation is a natural process. The virus does it. We know how it works. But I don't know any virus which has mutated so many times in a period of 1 year and over an expanse of almost the whole globe. Now you cannot use this, simple logic and terrorize people, because when they started off, they said vaccine is required. Then they said a booster dose is required. And now they are talking, no, they said that the second dose is required, and now they're talking about a third dose. And nobody is bothered about the economy of the people, how people who are running businesses, they don't have cash flows. So it is, what is important for these big pharmas is that this is the time for them to make hay while the sun is shining, and they want to fill up their pockets. So all these terror techniques are going to be utilized because everybody loves these kids, and they're going to tell you the third wave is coming in India, or the fifth wave is coming in Europe, or the 10th wave is coming wherever. Now, the plan is to sell vaccines to 18 plus group, which is fine. Okay, you get vaccinated, but then comes the booster dose. So, which means you sell the same churn 3 times when you don't even have the data. I mean, not a single scientist is saying we have sufficient data, and we are forgetting all the time.
Yeah.
All these vaccines, I'm repeating, are on emergency use. Not a single vaccine till date has been approved for regular use. So, I don't know. I have so many questions to ask, but there is nobody who's giving that answer. It is
The next
simple
program,
logic. This is
next
commerce,
program,
this is
yeah.
economy, and this is money making.
So,
Alok, yeah, next program, I try to catch some the WHO authority just who can answer all our questions. So, Dr. Bhatt, the very briefly, how just to analyze the whole situation, how it will be the going to be in now, and the role of WHO, and how just we just come out from the terror, of the COVID terror.
Rakeshji, well, of course, this is a difficult question in a sense, but I can tell you the role of WHO is not going to change much as long as Mr. Tedros is there, and as long as the other countries of the world are financing WHO better than today. Because China has gained a lot of power by increasing its financials at WHO by almost 52%. And there are other reasons, of course. They largely is right when he says that actually this is not the normal vaccination. It's just emergency cases. And if we are talking about people below 18 years and women, those are pregnant, there is no data at all on that. And what are the consequences, how it looks like, and whether they can also deal with it. If for example, if somebody is vaccinated and it goes wrong, how can they control it then? So there are so many questions. I think it's not easy, but also we cannot deny that the vaccine is helping in somehow, and hopefully someday in near future, when enough experiments are done, enough trial data is there, they will develop a proper vaccination. The question is crucial. What many people raised here, that why WHO is so passive regarding about the origin of this virus, and I mean, why were they not so active earlier? Had they been so active earlier as they have been, now talking about Delta plus virus or Delta virus, it wouldn't be like that bad now. So better would have been to be very active already in November and December itself. And probably they knew, everybody knows they knew it. But unfortunately, the world powers also, few people talked and they were dismissed. The role of press is very suspicious, I must admit. And the case of India is very different. Because India is being, is a kind of soft target from within. And that is the problem. You cannot always blame outside powers, causing some trouble in India. As we all know, that there are people who have their own interests, and they have their collaborations with particular groups of people around the world. So India's case is definitely different, and I really hope, as Dr. Dheeraj said, that people in India must be aware and must ask questions, but they must also stick and help the government to come out of this problem. Because alone government cannot do, especially when there was not enough infrastructure developed in past many decades, and You can't do it with overnight. You can't demand everything from the government. You need to be responsible. And I think
but
this
we
is
are
this.
going to trying to develop the new infrastructure and the trying to for the trying to the base just to fight the COVID and how the vaccination is going on, Dr. Bhatt.
Yeah,
I
that
think you
is
must
true.
agree.
That is
Yeah,
true. But I am
yeah,
saying that currently it is happening. But
yeah.
I mean, imagine if we already had this kind of infrastructure developed, let me say, for 20, 30, 40 years, we would be
Yeah.
much far today. And of course, the expectations of people are there. And then somebody was mentioning this, the problems in India. Of course, everywhere you have people like, some politician from Uttar Pradesh, declaring it the vaccine of some particular party,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're misleading people. I mean, this is really irresponsible, and these people should not be even politicians. I would really request my young brothers and sisters to throw out such kind of politicians, because they do not deserve this.
Just
They cannot
I
lead
hope
the country.
I hope from the Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary, like the young leaders of the country, should aware our society with her all the I think expertise. Anita ji, the last editorial comment. How just you analyze the situation, and very briefly, we have only 2 minutes now, so I can.
Um, I just want to tell you कि either is influenza or corona. We have to live with that. So we have to live with that, this coronavirus. First, the thing is that we have to increase our antibodies via vaccines and other
And
things,
different,
whatever
yeah,
the medication
yeah, yeah,
suggests
yeah,
us. Second
yeah.
thing, we should increase our immunity. And third thing is, we should mentally and physically strong. Whatever the situation is, it's a virus and I will overcome it. It's
So
a
nice,
disease and I
so
will
nice.
overcome it.
We
It's
have to
just
fight
a,
it
it's
accordingly.
just
Yeah,
a, it's just a invisible enemy, and I will destroy that. This kind of
yeah,
attitude we have to develop
yeah.
rather than criticizing and crying. If we will always do hue and cry, the thing is that we are going to be panicked, and government can only facilitate you, but government cannot increase your humanity and mental balance and your
Yeah, that's
willpower.
right.
So,
Either
we have to
WHO
build
also
up
not.
your
Yeah,
willpower. Whoever is created this enemy, we have to show that I can defeat you. You are nothing
yeah.
in front of me.
This is a
We
nice
have to
gesture.
we have to
So
behave
so
like
so
that.
nice, so nice, Anita ji. A last take as a doctor, as just on the just a microbiologist, Dr. Jyoti. Just very briefly in 20 seconds. How do you think? How do you fight this curse for society? And as a doctor, how do you realize this? Very briefly.
So the thing is that virus, how it acts is that it invades the host and multiplies there. So and the host defense system acts against it. So once the virus knows that the immune system is activated against it, it changes itself. So this is what we see in the new variants, and the number of as the rate of transmission increases, the number of persons infected it increases. This is going to happen. The number of person the infectivity of the virus is so much that it infects a large number of population at a time. So in this, the virus knows that that this thing is not going to help me now, so it changes itself. So we have to cut this transmission. We have to cut this transmission of the virus to stop it spreading, and to stop the newer mutations, and for the more pathogenic ones.
So nice of you, and so nice. Uh, just a moment. Just thanks to all the panelists just who express your views,
Thank you, sir.
their views accordingly, just for WHO and the Delta cluster. Also thank Dr. Dheeraj Kaul, Mr. Kumal Das, Alok Laharji, Dr. Bhatt, Dr. Jyoti Chaudhary and Anita Chaudhary ji just joined and participated in this special show dedicated to WHO and Delta virus terror, and how will this terror will be in for India and for the globe. We have to fight. We'll have to fight according to our the mental power, physical power, or whatever immunity we have. We have increased our immunity with the all positivity, as just to all the panelists on the consensus on that, with beyond the any politics, beyond the trap of the WHO, some misinformation, as I agree, some misinformation also is spread by the WHO. They can't escape on this, on the facts, but even that WHO, like organization, should think, analyze their role to save the humanity, or not only the issuing the instructions and some notification, but also should take a lead role for just a scientific research for the society, for the regular vaccine, not the emergency vaccine, and not terrorize the world with the only for instructions and notification. Thank you, so nice of you. I just the past so and see, view and watch and like and share the Global Governance News TV in a different digital platform. And again, we'll again meet at the next show. So nice of you. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.